This Week in History.
Three, two, one, zero, and liftoff.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
All right, Johnny, so first up I got this week. We already kind of talked about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but today is the day, Johnny. Lord Cornwallis will surrender at Yorktown on October 19th, 1781, effectively making America.
Oh, that's
Freedom!
it. That's a. But wait, I thought July 4th was freedom.
Well, that's when we declared independence,
Day.
but not really, because we had a conversation about watch our Independence Day special on that one about how we shouldn't be celebrating July 4th and we should be celebrating July 2nd, just like John Adams intended. Assholes at home.
Yeah, but 2nd of July just doesn't
Bullshit.
roll off the tongue like 4th of July.
No, it doesn't. But we're not talking about that today, Johnny. We're talking about Lord Cornwallis surrendering to George Washington on October 19th, 1781. Effectively ending the land combat during the Revolutionary War, although sort of. But we'll get there.
Is it? Wait,
was a
this
decisive-
isn't more of they just forgot or didn't get the message?
No.
Okay.
It was a decisive victory for the Colonials and their French allies, who would basically be the last major land battle of the war. And up to this point, like, the morale of the American colonists and the French were not the greatest, so this victory was much needed. And then, of course, ended it anyway,
Right.
so it's like
Yeah, so double bonus.
double win, double bonus. The Articles of Capitulation were signed by Washington, Rochambeau, who was our French ally, Lord Cornwallis, and Captain Thomas Simmons, who shouldn't have been there, but he was only there because he was the highest-ranking naval officer of Britain left.
So that
So
why shouldn't he have
they
been
had to
there?
have-
That he just wasn't
Well, they had to,
typically.
he wasn't that high. Yeah, it should have been like a Commodore or something
Okay.
higher, but he was it. Like, he was, because the British fleet was just destroyed by the French fleet.
Yeah.
Prior to this.
So
Yorktown surrender.
it's like in The Office when Michael Scott becomes the highest ranking member of Dunder Mifflin after all of management got fired. And he's
Yes,
like, what the
yes,
fuck?
exactly.
Like, yeah, okay.
Not really knowing what to do or how
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. Some of the articles, or some of the points in the articles. The first point was the British men were declared prisoners of war and were promised good treatment by the Americans in the POW
That's
camps.
nice of him.
Which is nice of them. The British officers, however, were permitted to return to England
What?
with their guns
What?
and all of their personal belongings.
All right, so officer privilege was like the original white privilege.
Yes, exactly. Well, the officers were like the educated landowners,
Yeah.
so we can't.
All right, yeah.
Lord Cornwallis can't be kept in the prison
Yeah.
camp. We'll send him back to
So
London.
that's the original white privilege. I got it. No, I'm with you.
Yep. The artillery, arms, military chests, accoutrements, and public stores would be turned over to the colonists unhindered. So you will give us your muskets without molesting them.
Nice.
You will give us your cannons without molesting them. And you will give us your chests of military gold without stealing any
And
gold.
what if they did?
It's our gold now.
Then what?
Well, then there'd be a violation of the treaty and we go back to war,
Oh,
Johnny.
shit,
Come
that's
on.
serious.
It is serious. Or, well, the treaty would be null and void, and then I guess Lord Cornwallis would now be a prisoner instead. On noon of this day, on the 19th, the two redouts, which are basically the forts left over, the British forts left over at Yorktown, would be delivered to the Americans and to the French. One to the Americans, one to the French.
Fair is fair.
Recognizing how important the French allies were to this whole cause. They get a fort. The Americans get a fort. Not really a fort, a redout, but that's the best way I can explain it. No natives that were fighting by the British would be punished. And by natives, I mean white people that were born in the colonies that were fighting for the British, or loyalists. Not like Native Americans.
No colonists.
No colonists.
Not no
that were
natives.
the loyalists that were fighting with the British would not be punished, and Washington ignored this article, said, yeah, they're going to jail too.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's treason, right?
And it's treason. And Lord Cornwallis was, like, not really in any position to push this issue. So he's like, okay, I'm just going to go back to London. Just don't kill me, please.
Okay, bye.
Finally, the end of the war actually wouldn't occur until 1783 with the signing of the Treaty of Paris. So, like, almost 2 full years later, the war finally ends. So technically, yes, it ends the majority of the land fighting, but the war really doesn't end for 2 more years.
And so is that? I mean, is that just paperwork?
Kind
So,
of
like, you
like
know what I mean? Like, is it just?
base, basically what you have is Lord Cornwallis's army is like the major army in the colonies. When he surrenders, the vast majority of the fighting power of England is gone. The England people at home are embarrassed by the surrender
Naturally.
and get sick of this war. They're like, why are we wasting so much time and money on a war with? If they want to go, let them
Yeah,
go. Like,
yeah,
we're
like
not
what?
getting
Yeah,
anything out of them anyways.
yeah. It comes down to
so-
like the normal person being like, "How does this affect me? Why is my money going towards that? That's bullshit."
It's like if Rhode Island all of a sudden wanted to leave the United States. Like, does
Wait.
anybody really care?
Wait, where?
I just picked the smallest state, Rhode
What?
Island, right? Yeah, exactly.
Never heard of it.
What? Who are they? Who cares? Let them go. They have like one city, right?
No, they got two. They got
10
Newport and Providence.
Yeah, and like 10 people live there.
You
Who
can
gives
you
a
can
shit?
get
Let 'em
anywhere
go.
in this from the center of the state, anywhere in the state, 10 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. See? So if Rhode Island secedes, who cares? The last thing, Johnny, I got for you, it is a Liberty Day. It is an America Day. I should actually be flying my American flag up
look at
underneath
that,
this
yeah.
one. It is American Liberty Day because today, Johnny, on October 21st, 1944, the first large German city falls in World War II to the Americans, and that's the city of Aachen.
Aachen.
So, Aachen falls to the Americans.
Great.
During this siege, great. End of Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
Woo!
we
no,
beat
but
'em
we're
all.
on the way. We're on the way. We're
Nazis
getting
are
there.
dead forever. They'll never come back.
The Americans are now in Germany, and we have taken over a German city. So, take that,
Yeah,
Nazis.
suck it, Hitler.
The siege would last from October 2nd to October 21st. Much of Aachen was destroyed by both the Americans and the Germans, and marked the first breach of the impenetrable German Siegfried line. So, suck your impenetrable line, Hitler. We're in Germany.
Yeah, it's that Princess Bride with the whole I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Exactly. The fight for the city itself would actually last from October 13th through the 21st. This was left up to the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One, but they actually could only commit one regiment to the city itself because they were too busy dealing with all the other Germans in Germany that were fighting them. This one regiment was the 26th Infantry Regiment, and all they had was small arms. They had like 1 or 2 tanks, a howitzer cannon, a couple of flamethrowers, some machine guns, and just your standard infantry weaponry.
Yeah, that sounds.
So-
That's plenty well stocked against. What were they going up against?
Good luck! Yeah, 5,000 Germans in the city. Good luck, fuckers!
Yep.
Success during this campaign was measured in the houses that were taken, not city blocks. Houses taken. The street-to-street fighting was so crowded and so intense that even if they did have tanks, it wouldn't have mattered because a couple of Shermans that they had couldn't
Yeah, they can't maneuver.
drive through the
yeah.
city. They can't.
Europe
maneuver in them.
streets are not wide.
Yeah, and they're definitely not wide for tanks. Most of the 26th Infantry was also untested recruits who were poorly trained and just thrown in. Good luck. Oh, you've only fired the M1 in training? Well, now fire it over at the
Look, there's a
Krauts.
person.
Good
Go
luck.
hit it. They just do your best, soldier. You'll be fine. Go get them.
Casualties were shockingly high.
What? No way.
And eventually the 110th Infantry Regiment had to be sent in to assist, and the central city was captured on the 21st. The Battle of Aachen, the casualty reports, Johnny, I have for you, is that 5,000 Americans would be wounded with an additional 2,000 KIA. And the Germans had 5,000 killed and wounded with 5,600 prisoners taken. So I lied about those numbers. It's more like 10,000 or more that were in the city itself. Yeah.
That's some big numbers.
Oops. Maybe we should have committed more than one regiment of under-equipped and under-trained people.
You know, you live and learn.
But we took it!
You live and learn.
Siegfried Line, to hell. Or the alternative is, how tough are these Germans when, like, a bunch of 18-year-olds were able to get the job done?
And that's This Week in History.